O'Neill, what's going on?
He's back, sir. He's back. He's still alive.
Yeah, I'm back. And let's start off this video getting right into the lies Evony has given us. Mounted speed, it's a lie. Troop speed books, range increase in books, more lies. Siege ranges, lie, 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 lie. It's all lies. 65,000% packs, probably a lie, who knows, I don't know what imaginary game currency is worth. So yeah, these are quite the claims, and I have quite the story. I do realize that sometimes I come off as audacious with my bold claims that these are the mechanics, and I realize that some players in the Evony community have doubts, but what they don't see is the hours of testing, retesting, compiling data, calculating formulas, introducing all possible factors and discovery. The math in this game consumes my mind like how All-Stars consumes players' wallets. I spend every facet of the day taking in data, obsessing over the smallest detail, exposing Evony for all the lies and corruption.
Can we go now? This is weird.
Yeah, we can go now.
Thank God.
The point is, I was quite confident in my knowledge of the battle mechanics, all save for one important key detail: speed and range mechanics. And try as I might with all the testing and data gathered over several months, I could never make the numbers make sense. I couldn't even tell you the battlefield size, and I was ready to give up. It's not like someone else could figure it out. You'd have to decode the Evony game files to get that kind of information, which gave me the idea. Why don't I just do that? So I put my plan to action and hired a team of hackers and game developers. I first started searching on Grindr, and that ended up being a pain in the ass. Apparently, I meant to look on Fiverr, which has a large talent pool that I could choose from. And after messaging several individuals, they all rejected. So I decided just to do it myself. And using advanced AI technology, I was able to decode the Evony game files. And this is what I found. Mounted speed is 300, not 600. Siege ranges are 900, 1000, 1100, 1200, and 1400. Archer tower range is 1500. And Evony rips off Game of Thrones. I can tell you every stat of every monster, what resources required for every building, etc. This is a massive data dump. And if you don't want to dig through the Evony files, you can see where they forgot to hide the correct values in Subcity stats. Here it says 300 mounted speed and 1100 for tier 10 siege. So, with the new information, I went back to my data and was finally able to put together the battlefield. The battlefield length is 1,500 units. All troops start at 0 and 1,500. Each player will have a turn where their troops will move, then attack. The troops move according to their speed. And on a speed tie, defense goes first. This means that the order is defending ground, since ground has 350 speed, which is more than the 300 speed that mounted have. Then it goes attacking ground, defending mounted, defending archer, attacking archer. And then tier 15, tier 16 siege, since they have 76 speed. So defending and then attacking, and then you go down to the tier 14, defending and attacking, and lastly are the traps and the archer tower. So after the first turn, your units will look like this, which is eerily similar to the position I said that the troops will start in my very first video. Sure, I'll admit in my first video I was naive and I trusted Evony's speed values, and the only way to make sense of them was to put the ground units ahead of the mounted.
I did warn you not to trust me.
So yeah, lesson learned. Don't trust this dating game, or was it a puzzle game? So what really happens in a battle? Ground, mounted, and arch units will move forward and will not engage until the third round. And even though siege go last, they will be in range of enemy troops and will attack depending on their range buffs, and more on that later. In the second round of battle, ground units are going to be at 700 and 800 positions. Mounted are at 600 and 900. Archers are at 200 and 1300, but they do have a range to reach 700 to 800. and siege will be varied depending on their range. Note, each round the archer tower and traps are going to be attacking the opposing units each turn. On the third round of battle, the defending infantry will move first to attack enemy ground troops. And I want you to take a look at this point of engagement. Ground and mounted speed books don't work, but even if they did, putting them on your defense general will not help, as your units will meet at the same spot, wherever the enemy ground units are. Whatever's left of the enemy ground units will attack the defending ground. The defending mounted units will now move to attack enemy ground, and if all enemy ground are dead, they will move to attack enemy mounted. Attacking mounted will move to meet the melee units, prioritizing ground first, and now the defending and attacking archers will attack any melee units within range. If we were to assume this was an archer march attacking this defense, the ground and mounted layers will die quickly, and this will cause all defending troops to move forward to engage the archers. The defending archers will also move up to attack the enemy archers, and possibly suffer counterattack wounds. And as a reminder, counterattack wounds are caused when your troops attack a layer and they can't fully kill that layer. Whatever troops they killed, let's say they killed 10,000 troops, those 10,000 troops will counterattack your troops, causing wounds. So the attacking archers will directly attack the defending archers once all mounted are dead. This is why you see a significant archer wound once a tier 1 mounted layer is cleared out. This will also highlight the weakness in tier 1 ground defenses, as it exposes your archers to an archer attack, and you may need to ghost them in such a scenario. So now let's talk about siege range mechanics. Siege range increasing skill books only give 5 per level, so at level 4 that's 20 extra range. Evony must have accidentally added an additional 0. So I made a chart that gives you the exact range of every siege unit depending on your buffs, and highlighted the ones that are most relevant, as players tend to avoid playing with gear that's not maxed out. Any siege range that exceeds 1500 doesn't matter. So a defender with a 0-star Achaemenid ring will hit a tier 14 of an attacker with a bracer on the first turn. Bracers are more useful for tier 1 through tier 12 siege. Attacking siege that has an effective range of 1500 or greater will prioritize the enemy archer tower. And that is why, even though tier 15 siege go before the defending tier 14 siege, they tend to die with no kills because they attack the archer tower on the first turn. This priority is why you will see your archer tower burning even if you won the defense. Unfortunately, killing the archer tower doesn't stop it from attacking throughout the battle. So let me give you an example how this works with tier 15 siege. Tier 15 siege have more speed than tier 14 and below, which makes it so that they're going to be moving faster. They're going to go before tier 14 siege. But you don't see that in a lot of battles, and that's because tier 15s generally will have more range than 1500, and that causes them to attack the archer tower on their first turn. So if you were to attack a player without using any siege range increasing gear with no bracer, your tier 15 will attack the archers first. This is because they now don't have enough range to reach the archer tower. The enemy siege haven't moved because your tier 15 are going first, and the archers have already moved 100 units, so that they are within the 1475 of your effective range. If your tier 15 were to survive the first round, the second attack, they will target siege, because the enemy, the defending tier 1 through tier 4 siege, have definitely moved up since then, and they will be the priority target. Also notice that the tier 1 through tier 4 siege with a bracer has a maximum range of 1055. The closest unit to them will be the opposing ground units, who have moved 350 units on their first turn. This means that the tier 1 to tier 4 siege will move the full 75 units trying to reach the ground, but failing since they'll still have 20 units left between them. Compare that to tier 5 through tier 8 that have a maximum of 1170 range, They don't need to move as they will be in range of the enemy ground and stay at position 0. However, they will move if a higher priority target, such as archers, come within their effective range, which is just their speed plus their range. So given that, look at the maximum range of Tier 11 and Tier 12 Siege, 1,400. With their speed, they can reach any unit that is within 1475 units of itself. The defending Tier 11 will attack archers first, as no attacking siege has moved yet. This is similar to the Tier 15 example I gave earlier. But the attacking Tier 11 will target those Tier 1 through Tier 4 siege first, since they are within the 1475 range of them. So how does this information help us? Using different siege ranges will allow you to target certain troops in your attack or defense. And this allows you to recognize that your low tier siege will target ground units first for the first several turns. You can also remove layers in your march to accommodate certain attacking strategies. Want to target the enemy's tier 12 siege, vice their tier 4 siege? Send tier 11 with only siege layers. This will make the defending tier 11 and tier 12 siege need to move 75 units closer, as there are no units within 1475 range of them. Again, this is their max range plus their speed. Or, if you are targeting a big player that has ground, archer, and siege, with most of their mounted ghosts are dead from archer rallies, you can do a mounted rally with no ground layers. What this would do is cause the defending ground to move all the way to the 900 position, to attack mounted on turn 3. This places the point of engagement 100 units further away from the enemy, which will make the attacking mounted have 2 turns to kill the ground before the defending archers are given a chance to attack. Technically, you could send a few small layers of ground to eat attacks from the siege, but it's risky and it's difficult to coordinate. So let's go into more detail on these skill books. I mentioned siege range skill books are off by a factor of 10, but what about Archer? Yeah, Archer adds 17 range every level for a total of 68 at level 4. Why 17? No idea. I tested it several times in different ways to confirm it, but that was consistently the answer. As for speed books not working, I think this has been the most controversial thing I've said, and there are several different tests I've done to prove it, but here is one simple test to prove that they do not increase troop speed. Attack a keep that only has a single ground unit inside 3 times. Once with a small tier 5 siege march with a 6% ring and a level 3 skill book. This will give the siege an effective range of 1,150, which will be just enough to reach the ground unit on the first turn after it's moved the initial 350 units. Now do the same march, except use a level 2 range increasing skill book. You will notice that the siege will die and the ground will remain unwounded. This is because the siege could not reach the ground and the archer tower kills them. On the third attack, use the same level 2 skill book march, except now give the defending wall general a level 4 ground troop speed skill book. This should bring their speed to 420, but you will notice again your siege will die to the archer tower, and that means that their skill book didn't even increase the ground speed by 5. And now we're not even discussing how speed skill books don't change the order in which your troops move. For example, if you gave a mounted general a level 4 speed book, the mounted troops do not move before the ground. So it's official. Troop speed books do not increase troop speed, and I highly recommend you don't use them. So, what now? Now we demand the truth. Now we demand Evony shares the real values. Good on them for sharing troop modifiers a year after my initial video that exposed them. Except, they didn't even get those right. Siege vs. Siege doesn't do 50% more damage, it does half. And tier 15 and tier 16 siege have a modifier of 0.6. So yeah, more lies. Ads are lies, the values are lies. It almost makes you wonder why more players aren't doing chargebacks when they found out that these digital items are lies. Which brings me to my new promo code, Evony Lies. What do you mean I can't use that? Hey, you let me use red Wi-Fi. No, that's Red Evony. He has a much more seductive voice. So what I can do for you is Aptoid is giving away over $1,000 in a 1-year celebration of Derek It's a Christmas event. It doesn't matter. They're doing a giveaway. They're giving away over $1,000. Description below has the details. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos on exposing Evony mechanics and their lies. What do you mean I don't get paid?